Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday.
This week's topic is going to be a little bit of a multi-topic. TikTok, Red Note, and the inauguration. This is episode 127. Hey guys, welcome back. As always, appreciate you being here. The reason for this week's topic, it's kind of, I guess the inspiration for it is kind of sitting here texting back or voice clipping back and forth with my bro Ricco, and was kind of literally messaging him going, I don't know what to make this week's episode about. But you could say I'm doing my best to try to be consistent, try to make sure that I get have episodes recorded every week, because it's so easy to, I guess, slack off a little bit. So easy to be lazy and to just I'll just put it off, I'll just do it later. I don't want to do that, because my intention for this podcast is to eventually have it, basically be able to do it full time. Be able to have it be not just one, another podcast, but successful podcasts. Have it be one that I can monetize eventually, and so I'm doing my best to try to keep keep at it. Some weeks are harder than others. Some weeks, there's weeks where it's really easy for me to come on here and I know exactly what I want to talk about. There's other weeks where I have to sit here and think for like half an hour going, all right, what would be a good topic to discuss this week? So I guess one other part of the topic, what was it? TikTok, Red Note, and the inauguration. Another part of it that I forgot to mention during the mentioning the topic at the beginning, bitter cold. So we have especially if you're not in a state that's dealing with like actual warm temps, then you're probably dealing with bitter cold like the rest of us. I know when I went out, I really didn't want to go out today, but had to go out to take care of a few things. Had to pick up some stuff because there's dinner I had planned to make that I needed teriyaki marinade. So we already had chicken, because we already did a grocery order, a grocery order. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there. And so we have like 2 of the big packs of chicken breasts from Aldi's, 2 big packs of chicken thighs from Aldi's. And one of the meals that I like to do, fairly healthy, low carb, diabetic friendly, it's literally take chicken breasts and you marinate them. I guess you can marinate it in anything really, but I usually pick a teriyaki marinade. You get like a little I guess if you go to like Kroger, I'm sure you can go to Publix too, but if you go to Kroger, they have these little marinades that are like what look like the same bottles as what you get like salad dressing. And so I take this full pack of chicken. Each breast I kind of take out, and I kind of, before cutting them in half, like butterflying them, I cut off any of the the tendons, gristle, whatever that might still be on there. And then I cut these because they're big chicken breasts. Cut these chicken breasts in half, and do that with all the breasts. Each of these big packs, it's a family pack, so it has like 6 large chicken breasts. Cut them in half, put them in a bowl. Once I get them all done, I pour the entire bottle of the teriyaki marinade in there. And then, mix them around to make sure that they're nice and coated, nice and covered. And then let them marinate for like 30, 45 minutes. The longer you let it marinate, obviously the better. So if you can let it marinate for like an hour or 2, then hey, But with the directions, literally say marinate for 30 minutes. And that's pretty much what I've done every time I made them. So marinate them for 30 minutes. And then what I do with it as a side is I get like 4 bags of those mixed vegetables. So it's like you get broccoli, cauliflower, carrots in these little frozen bags or whatever. I get like 4 of those because usually the bags are pretty small. Fill up the casserole dish, with all of those. And I put like at least tonight I did a can of cream of chicken and a can of cream of mushroom. I think I did 2 cans of cream of mushroom. It was pretty good. I thought the cream of chicken and the cream of mushroom would be pretty good. And it wasn't bad. Dinner's pretty good tonight. But, because I'm still perfecting it. Like chicken, that there's not much, much we can do to perfect that. Like that's pretty good. The veggies are where I'm kind of, So like after about 45 minutes of marinade, I just basically the entire bowl that has all the marinade and the chicken, just pour that all into a baking dish. And then for the veggies, I take a casserole dish, rectangular casserole dish so that you can fit all of them. Put all the veggies in there, put one, like I said, tonight I did a can of cream of chicken and a can of cream of mushroom, but I'm thinking next time I'm going to do at least 2 cans of maybe broccoli and cheese soup, because you get that broccoli flavor with cheese flavor. And then what you do is you still add like some shredded cheese into the mix, into the mixture of the veggies as well. So you put some shredded cheese in there. You mix at least 2 cans of soup. If you want to add 3 to make it even more creamy, get it all mixed up pretty good. Maybe put some cheese on top, put some breadcrumbs on top. You throw it all in the oven for roughly about 45 minutes at 350. I baked it for a little bit longer tonight. It was technically the temperature when I took it out the first time. The temp in the chicken was exactly 165, which I believe is what it says for like poultry or whatever. And I was like, technically I think it's done, but I put it in for another 15 minutes to just make sure, just to, go a little bit above it. Wasn't going to necessarily burn them, but was going to make sure that it was fully cooked. So that's what I did. And so but yeah, so I kind of just little mix up, I guess. I kind of, while doing this episode, I paused to listen to a couple of voice clips I had from my bro Ricco. It was like 3 minutes worth of clips, and then of course I responded to his clips, and then would come back to do the recording going, what was I talking about before? So basically what he was saying, because I had asked him, I said, maybe I should talk, because I was like, I'm trying to figure out what to talk about tonight, and he was like, let's see, I'm trying to remember exactly what he, I can't remember. I'm tired, but then I was joking around, so maybe I should talk about the inauguration or whatever, and I jokingly said, the inauguration of King Trump, and he's maybe, like, maybe, but you should keep it neutral, like, don't pick a side. And then he was like, well, actually, maybe you should take one side or the other, because that, maybe that would get some comments and some questions or whatever. And I'm like, one of the things that he and I have talked about before is, I guess he's done podcast episodes where he's live recording, where people can literally tune in as he's recording. And so he's talked about like there's episodes he's done where he takes a break, where he puts on music or whatever, and then he'll come back, and welcome back, and then talk about like if you're just not tuning in, blah blah blah. This is what we're talking about tonight. And P and I were having a conversation the other day, and I was mentioning about some of the podcasts that I tuned into. They were asking, I guess, one of the because if you look at the episode notes on any of the episodes that I do, with what was that like, he has like, I think it's every Tuesday they do what they call a Tuesday question, and so him and his co-host Meredith, they of course answer a couple questions or whatever. They go back and forth, they talk or whatever. And one of the questions was like, what is one of your pet peeves? And both of them are like, yeah, it's kind of weird when like somebody acts like a radio host or whatever. And so they take a break and they come back and, if you're just not tuning in, and both of them are like, who tunes into a podcast episode halfway through? And I was mentioning that to Ricco, and he was like, I hate, actually, I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically was like, I hate when people, they judge or whatever, because like some episodes might be live, like people might be able to tune in. I was like, I didn't even think about that. So makes sense if you're actually live recording where people can tune in as you're recording. I guess that makes sense. I was under the impression though that like for me, I told him, I said I record mine basically solo, and then I upload it, edit it and upload it, so nobody's tuning in while I'm recording it. It's all basically just me talking into a mic or whatever. So for me, I understand where they're coming from, but from somebody like Ricco who has recorded live before, I can understand his part too, So let's see, to try to not ramble on too long for tonight's episode, and I want to make sure I cover everything that we mentioned in the topic, or the different topics. So big or cold. Yesterday when I got off work, it wasn't that bad out. It was still cold, but it wasn't like terrible. Today though, it was like 20 degrees when I went out, and I, like I said, I had to go out there and get the teriyaki marinade, and the wife had requested me to get her some Pringles. And then when I was out, because of course Kroger is right next to a Japanese place called like Sakura or something, Japanese place that has like sushi and whatnot. When I was walking through Kroger, I stopped because some of those grocery stores have their own little sushi section, and so they had the different containers of sushi that had been made up earlier that day. And I stopped. I was like, I wonder, should I grab some of this? And I was like, you know what? We're right next to a Japanese place that does sushi that me and the wife and my oldest have actually gone into and got some sushi. And of course, I got like some of their entrees, like what's like teriyaki steak, teriyaki chicken. You get fried rice and veggies or whatever. So we've gone there a couple times. It's really good. Like, I prefer to go there for dinner because when you get a lunch item, the plate is a lot smaller. That's where we tried it out. We tried it out for lunch, and I was actually still hungry afterwards. I was like, that was not enough food. But then the next week, I think we went there for dinner, and it was like the plate was so much bigger. It was a lot more of a bigger portion. It was like, okay, cool. Like, I feel pretty good. Like, I enjoyed it so much better. You know, especially if you're going there when you're hungry, you want to come out of there feeling satisfied, you know. So if you're ever in Nashville and you're looking for a good Japanese place, definitely check them out. Recommend them for dinner, unless you're not, you know, if you don't eat a lot, then lunch would be totally fine. But so tonight I went ahead and checked out at Kroger, and of course the funny thing was I took my grandson with me because my oldest was working. So we were on grandson duty tonight from like 3 o'clock until she got home at like 9:30. So when I went to go to the store, I was like, I'll take him with me, why not? But I told the wife, I said, I got to go out and do stuff. I really don't want to because it's so cold out there. But I was like, I guess I'll go out there and do what I got to do, and I guess I'll take the grandson with me. So we get out there and we're, dealing with the cold and going into Kroger and do what we gotta do. And I put him in the cart because I wasn't gonna deal with like him, walking everywhere and trying to go, I want to grab this, I want to grab that. Nope, we're gonna ride in the cart. So I get out of Kroger and we were walking to the truck and we put the stuff in the truck, and I was like, hey, let's go. Hold on, we're gonna go one more place over here. So we walk across the parking lot again. We go to the Japanese place. I get one of the menus out. Of course, I call the wife, like, what kind of sushi do you want from Sakura or whatever? She's like, let me text you back. Let me look at the menu online. Like, okay. So took her back, probably felt like 5 or 10 minutes. She finally texted me. She goes, I'll get this one and this one. I'm like, oh, you want two? Okay. I'm always thinking like, try to keep the cost down as much as possible. But I'm like, all right, fine. You want two? I'll get two. Why not? I was only getting one. I was like, that's one of the things where it's like when you go to the store or you're going somewhere and you're trying to budget, and of course you're looking at the prices and picking, I'm just gonna get this, and of course your other half's like, I'll get this and this and this. I'm like, crap. All right, but yeah, it's all good. So got her 2 orders of sushi, got my one. You want them all in one box? I'm like, you can put these two orders in one box. Put this one in a separate box because that's me. Oh, okay, cool. So got those ordered, went and sat down the little couch they got there and kind of waited until our food was ready. I came home and I joked with the wife. I said I would volunteer, or I would offer to go pick the kiddo up from work tonight, but I don't want to. I was like, it's not that I don't want to, it's that it's freaking 20 degrees out there, and I really don't want to go out in the cold again because it was like, I'd rather stay inside. Like, that's part of the bitter cold that, like, if I would love right now to not have to go out there. Like, I would love to not have to go to the truck, That's another thing too, like I'm so, like, usually I go in at like 6 something at night, but then the boss texted me earlier. He goes, I need you ready to be at the truck in Nashville at like 12:30. I was like, crap. Okay, And so, like I said earlier, it's like, it wouldn't be that bad if I actually had felt like I had my entire Sunday to enjoy, but I got home at 12. And I know he doesn't give a crap. For him, he's just the driver manager, so it's like, I just need you available this day. Oh, crap, all right. He's been telling me for days, too, that my truck's going to go in the shop on such and such day. And I'm like, all right, just give me a heads up so I can make sure to grab, like, my phone mount and make sure I have all my crap, out of the truck so I can have it in whatever other truck I'm going to be in for, like, a week or whatever. Because it's going to go in the shop for, like, some, routine maintenance, but make sure that everything's taken care of. So I'm like, yeah, all right, just give me the heads up so I can take everything out. And of course, he told me before I got off the other day that it was probably going in Monday or Tuesday. But now it's like, oh, well, you're going to be back at 378 because, so-and-so's truck is still in the shop. I'm like, so is it going in there anytime soon? Because you keep telling me, oh, it's going to go in this date. So I'm like, okay, I'll make sure to grab my stuff. Oh, no, you're still in your truck. It's done. You know what? Figure the fuck out, man. Jesus, cheese and rice. That's like, it's like, there's a lot of times, that's one of the stressors I have with my job is my boss tells me a lot of crap. And a lot of times, sometimes what he says actually pans out to what he's telling me it's going to happen. But unfortunately, a lot of times it doesn't. I don't get it. I mean, I know that he can only go off what he's told. So it's like, I understand you can only go with what FedEx or whatever tells you about certain loads if they don't work out, it's not on you. But this isn't FedEx. This is their trucks are going in the shop, and so your truck's gonna go in the shop at this date. Oh, never mind, it's going on this day. Oh, actually, never mind, this day. Oh, wait, still didn't work out. It's the other day. Because I moved my stuff in and out of my truck like 5 times so far. I'm like, you know what? I could have left things in here, and plus another stressor I have. Up until recently, like I wasn't like leaving. I was locking the truck, like bringing the key home with me because we all have assigned trucks. But lately, it's like, oh, you need to leave the key in your truck because Bingham's going to be in your truck, or I guess we have a lady named China or something. Look like China's going to be in your truck. All right, or I think I had one. I had one driver named Philip in my truck. And so, like, after China, I don't mind being in the truck after her because there's not a whole lot that's been adjusted. By going after Bingham, and freaking, like, vents are closed, the steering wheel is lowered down to the point where, like, in order for me to even get in, I have to, like, freaking raise the steering wheel up because I can't even get in the seat. And I'm like, how? You have the seat all the way down to the floor. You got the steering wheel down so low, you can't even get in, so I can't even, like, it's not like I can lower the seat and get in. No, I have to, like, hit that little lever where you can adjust your steering wheel, and that way I can get in. So the steering wheel's adjusted, the seat's all the way on the floor, the truck computer, what we call the Omnitrix, freaking muted. The brightness of it is all the way down, so you can't even see it. So I have to brighten it back up, raise the volume back up, so I can hear it when it says like, you have so many hours, blah blah blah. Mirrors are all the way looking at the ground. I'm like, how, like he's not that much shorter than me, so I don't understand why when you're adjusting the mirrors, why like when I get in the seat I don't adjust anything yet. I look at both sides of the mirror. One side I can only see the side of the truck, I can't even see anything else. The other side I see just the ground. I'm like, how do you see the cars behind you with them adjusted like that? I don't get it. But then I got in after the guy, I guess Philip, was in my truck. And like I have certain things set up a certain way, like you have a binder that has like your registration and whatnot, and your cab card and all that stuff. And if you get inspected, you're supposed to legally, as a driver, we're supposed to be able to access that binder from our driver's seat while we're seated there without having to get up out of the seat and go somewhere. So I put the binder in the corner up of the dash up in the left corner because I don't have any side boxes or pockets near me where the thing would fit where I could reach it. So I put it up there. After Philip had been in there, I couldn't find the binder. I got up out of the seat, was looking at all the cabinets up overhead, and I found it up there. And I'm like, why are we moving shit? Like, why are we putting, like, I've been assigned to this truck for 1.5 years. And he was in it for a day, and all of a sudden all this crap's moved around. I'm like, why are you moving my stuff? Like, I have things set up a certain way because I'm assigned to this truck. Like, this is literally, he prefers it as my truck. I know it's not my truck. I know I'm just the driver assigned to it. But if I'm the one in it all the time and you're in it once, why are you moving my shit? So that's a little stressor right there. But then the whole different times, come in at this time, come in at that time, are you doing this? Oh, you're doing that. It's like, I can't tell you how much I look forward to getting stuff off the ground or figuring out, basically putting myself in a position where I could literally move us. Like, we can move out of state. I can leave my current job and start, do something else, like make a change. I love what I do, but I'm kind of annoyed with some of the things that are going on with my job. I have been for a while, but it is what it is. For the most part, my boss, my manager treats me pretty well. It's just, I don't like that there's a lot of times I don't know if what I'm being told is accurate or the truth. So, oh well, but let's see. So with Bitter Cold, we talked a little bit about, actually really didn't talk about TikTok yet, but it's funny, like TikTok was technically banned, or it was, it is still banned technically, but it was unavailable for like less than a day, and then all of a sudden, like, I was seeing people post like, it's back. I'm like, what? So I logged on to TikTok, and I had a little error pop up when I first logged in, but then I was able to go back and see videos, and I was like, holy crap, like I can access it again. Like, I wonder if that means that these companies that were warned that if they didn't comply with the ban and they still let people access it, they would get fined like $5,000 per person that had access. So it'd be like 140 million times 5,000. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money. So they would basically go bankrupt. But it's accessible again, I guess, because Trump had mentioned, like, well, when I first take office, I'm going to issue a 90-day extension. And people are like, oh, yeah, Trump's going to do this, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, but, that doesn't mean it's going to be back permanently, because from what I'm hearing, what I'm reading online, yeah, it'll be back for 90 days, but it will only stay around if it gets sold. So if they don't sell it, then it's going to go away again. So that's why one of the parts of this topic was red notes. For those of you who are not aware, if you look it up on the App Store, red note is like literally the Chinese version of TikTok, kind of. I believe it was here before TikTok, and then TikTok wasn't created or whatever. But me and the wife and the kids or whatever, we created a kind of red note. We've actually been interacting a little bit with Chinese peeps overseas, and it's interesting because you hear so much stuff over here, all the propaganda, whatever, about the Chinese, and then you talk to them actually on the app, and it's like, okay, it's not what I was expecting. I was utilizing Google Translate because I've had one or two people that have messaged me on there, and I would translate what they said, then I would of course translate my reply back to them and send a message back, and I was like, you'll have to give me you have to just bear with me, you have to hang in there with me, because I'm having to translate what you're saying, and then I'm having to translate my response to you. So I'm enjoying this conversation, but it's gonna take a minute for me to go back and forth. And they're like, no problem. Like, what's Tennessee like? Blah blah blah. And what do you I'm like, yeah, Tennessee's like this, and so it's interesting. It's almost, I'm not gonna lie, like if you're somebody from Red Note, and because I've mentioned that I'm a podcast host and mentioned the Blodgett Show, whatever. So if you're from Red Note, from the good old country of China, and you're connecting with this podcast, you speak English, you can understand me, which I that's one thing I've thought about with this podcast. Like, now that I'm a part of Red Note, like, well, obviously my goal as I continue to do this podcast is to maybe figure out a way to expand it in a way to where maybe like have it the episodes I would do, have it be like translated into Chinese or something. So I don't know if you guys can hear the squeaking or whatever in the background. I've got one of the things I do the night before I go back to work is I do my laundry and whatnot, get things ready for me to go back to work for my 5 days or whatever. I believe I gotta, because I know my birthday's coming up here in February, so I've got like, I believe at least 2 days worth of PTO saved up. My birthday's like in the middle of the week, which kind of sucks, but I'm off Sunday, Monday usually. So I told the wife, I said, well, I was thinking about either taking Friday, Saturday off one week and having Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, or taking Tuesday, Wednesday off. So I'd have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I said, well, knowing my birthday's in the middle of the week, I might have to, maybe I would do the Tuesday, Wednesday, so that way technically I'm off for my birthday, and I could have a 4-day, get off Saturday, or get off Sunday morning like I normally do. Have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. And she's like, yeah, we could probably go to a movie, whatever, for your birthday. And she's, because she's a cake decorator or she's a pastry chef and stuff, So of course she's asking me like, what do you want for your cake? And I'm like, I don't know, like maybe strawberry cake with chocolate icing or whatever. And she's like, do you want fruit in there? Maybe we could do cheesecake filling. And I'm like, sure, I guess, And then asking me like, well, what kind of theme do you want? I said, I have no idea. It's like, well, we could do cause I did like a truck one before, and I could do this and that. And I'm like, honestly, all I was thinking was all I care about is the cake. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy. She goes, yeah, but you know how I am. Like, I do a theme, and there's something, figurines or something up top. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. I was like, well, then you go ahead and pick. That's because all I really care about is just, hey, it's my birthday. Love to have a cake. Can't do a huge cake because of being diabetic. So don't make, because I know I've had birthdays in the past that literally she made like this huge cake. It was amazing. It was like 3 tiers or 3 levels to it. It was massive. And so even a small slice was still pretty big. Or a thin slice, I should say. It was still pretty big. So she's like, I was thinking of doing like a 6-inch. And I'm like, that's fine. Yeah, maybe 6-inch, two layer, so that way, I was like, between me and the grandson, I'm sure the cake will get demolished in a week. My blood sugar will be off the charts for a week, but then I'll go back to normal. But, so yeah, so it's like, let's see. So if you're on Red Note and you enjoy this podcast, feel free to tell your friends. Hell, if you're not just a Red Note, but anybody's listening, first I want to say I really appreciate you. All I try to do is, like I said, try to be consistent, try to get these episodes recorded and posted every week, try to make sure that I'm not missing weeks, because I know that, I believe that part of my eventual success with the show will be just making sure that I have the episodes posting when I say they're going to post. So like having the Real Talk Tuesday episodes posting by 5:15 every Tuesday night. And eventually when I am able to get back into doing the stories, I will have stories. I'll just show short stories posting every Friday. So we'll be back to the Real Talk Tuesdays and Storytime Fridays. So I look forward to that. As well as we will have, like I said, I've got books in the works. So I've got one novel that's like 2/3 of the way done, and then I've got could also be publishing the Blodgett Show short stories in volumes. So like right now I have volume 1 complete, which is like 4. It's like maybe like 4 or 5 of the Blodgett Show stories. And I've got volume 2 started. So it's got 1 story in that I gotta, cause some of the stories, apologies. Some of the stories that I did for a while, I didn't have the time to actually like sit down and write. But what I did is I would start doing what I call the freestyle stories. So I'd hit record, have the headset on, hit record. I would just come up with a story off the top of my head and just tell a story. And then, so I didn't have a written version of it. So literally the first story in volume 2 is one that I basically, like, I had gone and I transcribed it. So it took me 4 days to do it because I had to listen to the story, me telling the story, and then I had to slow it down. Because listening to the story, because I'm a fast typer, but listening to myself tell the story, I couldn't type fast enough to keep up, so I had to slow it down to where it's like, and he ran through the forest, and I was, slow it down that way, so as I'm telling the story, I'm able to type it out. But it's slow enough to where if there's things I had to modify the typed version compared to this, just the verbal, the oral version, I was able to make a little modification, like pause it if I had to, write out what I had to cut or whatever I needed to do, and then hit play again and continue to transcribe it. So I've got stuff that I need to do, stuff that I know what I have to do. I just have to get it done. So part of it, the problem that I've been having is with my schedule, just with the way work has been going. It's been hard for me to find time, even when I'm off, to just sit down, take a few hours and write. Because when you don't really have a whole lot of time off during your work week, then you're off for technically your 2 days. But I get off like Sunday morning at like 11:30 in the morning, go to sleep for like 6 hours, get up, hang out Sunday night, and then I'm off all day Monday, and then usually I'm supposed to be off a good portion of Tuesday before I go to work, and then tomorrow, need you ready at 12:30. All right, it's like doing what I gotta do. But let's see. So we talked about TikTok a little bit. One of the things with TikTok and Red Note, even though it's around, I'm kind of trying to approach it with the mindset that it's going away. Yes, it's back. Yes, Trump, probably did a 90-day whatever. But from what I've read online, the owners of TikTok, the parent company is like ByteDance or something that basically has Red Note. They're saying that a sale is impossible. Like they can't sell to an American company or whatever. That the parent company will never go for that. So I don't think a sale's going to go through. I don't think TikTok's going to get purchased. So basically, it's probably going to get banned in the U.S. permanently. So I'm not really posting on TikTok. I've been posting a little bit on Red Note and kind of interacting with some peeps from that app, which is kind of funny because I have had some people message me that were what we like to call TikTok refugees, and getting the messages from females on there, not even Chinese, but it's like random like Americans or Canadians or whatever, try to flirt with you like, hey, so are you married? Like, and I had one say, are you happily married though? I'm like, yeah, I've been married 18 years to my wife. So I was like, I don't know much else right now. So, but honestly, like if you're not familiar with Red Note, if you're a TikTok user, I think Red Note is so much better. Like the people on there, for the most part, maybe we're making it worse, those of us that are coming over there as TikTok refugees, but honestly, like the people on there are just better, like I told my wife that it makes me kind of want to think about or contemplating the idea of relocating to China, because honestly, like they just seem pretty awesome, but so talked a little bit about TikTok, talked about Red Note, the inauguration. I read earlier that that Trump, I guess, was supposed to sign like up close to like 100 different executive orders, some of which make me kind of worry about what's going to happen here in this country, because like I guess some executive orders about getting rid of like protections for like minorities in the workplace or whatever, like discrimination, whatever, getting rid of like things like transgender protection, the renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, I think is interesting. And I read something that said that they don't know if the president has that power, but we'll see. I'm not sure. But one of the things that scares me is what they're talking about, like the mass deportations, the raids that are supposed to happen on day 2. So I guess that'd be tomorrow, probably. Raiding in like Florida, Chicago, California. I don't know. I'm scared at how things are gonna, like what's gonna happen and stuff. Heck, if you didn't see it, like you should look up whatever that last video of I think it was the inauguration, but it showed Elon Musk, and he did the symbol basically that was the same as like the Nazi symbol for Hail Hitler, whatever. Like slap his chest, put their hand up in the air. Yeah, that's not a good. I don't know. So I'm not sure what to expect, how things are going to go. Hell, one of the things that I heard that he wanted to do an executive order to get rid of was birthright citizenship. And it's like, so people who are born here, because that's how things are supposed to be right now, or how they are right now, is if you're born here, then you're a U.S. citizen. So it's like, what you want to, if somebody whose family, whose relatives are technically from Mexico, they've been here for a long time, and they have people, some of their kids or grandkids were actually born here in America, so they have birthright citizenship. So what, you want to do away with that just because they're not like white, So I'm kind of curious about that. That's part that's kind of a little concerned. It's like, we as a country definitely need to do better, and the fact that we've gone this route where we thought things are going to be better with the current administration, with Trump or whatever. It's going to be interesting. That's why I try to keep a neutral stance on it all, because I don't want to be like, hey, Democrat, hey, Republican, hey, I'm third party, whatever. All I can say is I really hope that we made the right call as a country. And if things really, really get bad, all we have is ourselves to blame, because we voted him in office. So it is what it is. It's like, so let's see. Try to think of. So Bitter Cold talked about TikTok, talked about the inauguration. I know there's something else I mentioned too, but I don't know. But mainly, we just got to keep pushing forward, doing what we got to do. And I told the wife earlier, I said, well, depending on how things go, I said it just could be 4 years of hell, with more than likely, from what I believe, but I don't know for sure. Like I said, we'll have to see how it goes. But people are like, the price is not going down like what people are going, oh, eggs are going to be cheaper, groceries are going to be cheaper, blah blah blah, and talking about like, oh, things are really cheap during Trump's presidency, like he instilled this during the 2016. Is like, yeah, but the things that you're giving Trump credit for were things that were put in place during Obama's, and things that you're harping on Biden for were things that were put in place by Trump. And so anything that might be good during this presidency was put in place by Biden. But there's some extreme, some of the things that he's saying he's going to do might make things more difficult sooner. So then maybe he would actually get credit for some of the things that would go wrong during these next 4 years. But again, as a country, we put him in there. So if things really go to hell in a handbasket, we really only have ourselves to blame, But if you're looking for some good social interaction or whatever on a non-American controlled platform, you should definitely look at Red Note, because it's interesting to want to get rid of TikTok because of the reasons they have, but then everybody flocked over to Red Note. Hell, I would get rid of the other apps like Facebook and Instagram, honestly, but it's like, yeah, but I mean, I do interact with some family and friends on there, but at the same time, I'm like, I know eventually, actually, when I accomplish things I'm looking to accomplish, like being able to be home full-time self-employed, full-time podcaster, full-time entrepreneur, I could totally see going off the grid with the social media apps anyway. Because, yeah, I want to do business online, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to have to be posting about the business online. Like, hey, guys, you should check out such and such. Like, join me over here, because I see a lot of that on Facebook. Hell, there's somebody I'm connected with that her way of posting about business online is basically to talk shit about people online. Like, oh, like, you guys are stupid, you guys are losers, like, you're not willing to make a change and make the sacrifice, whatever. Like, I went all in all this time ago and it worked out. Like, yeah, but people like me, a lot of us have actually been through multiple teams, multiple platforms online. We've done the work, we've follow the processes that we're supposed to follow, and yet we're still like, we're still where we're at. It's not that we didn't try. It's not that we weren't willing to invest. We just, it didn't work out for us. Like, we don't have the same following they did, whatever, So I always find those posts kind of interesting, because it's like you want people to follow you and to join you, but then you're going to talk crap about them. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm hesitant to join somebody, even if I have the money. I'm hesitant to join up if I feel like, okay, like one post I did, I usually, when I do a post, like a selfie, whatever, I might post like a inspirational, like, hey guys, we got this, just keep pushing forward, do what you gotta do, whatever. And one of my posts, I basically said, like, hey guys, if you're not where you want to be, that doesn't make you losers. That just means that you're just taking you a little bit of time. Just keep pushing forward, keep doing what you're doing. And this lady I know, she messaged me. She was, I'm just letting you know, I don't think you're a loser. And I was like, I never said you did. She was, I'm just letting you know, because, like, I know you work hard. I know you bust your ass, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I do. And she was so, like, I just wanted you to know that. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I thought that's interesting that she would message me, because obviously, like, because she goes online and she says that, not about me specifically. It's just in general, So, but it's one of those where they say, like, when somebody makes a comment about it, obviously you struck a nerve, or they say if the shoe fits, So it's like, it was interesting to get that message, because I was like, I didn't say anything about you specifically. I just said in general, like, saying, like, hey guys, if you're out there working hard, you're doing what you gotta do, and you're not where you want to be at, don't worry about it. Like, keep doing it, keep pushing forward. As long as you haven't given up, haven't thrown in the towel, then you haven't failed. So, but that doesn't make us losers. We're good, whatever. She's like, I'm not calling you loser. I'm like, I understand, So, but anyway, guys, on that note, I think I covered everything tonight. I hope I did. I'm sure when I re-listen to it after this episode post and I listen to it myself, I'll be like, ah, crap, I totally, like, skipped that part. But anyway, you know what I always say, guys? Keep pushing forward. Keep believing. Believe you can. Believe you will. And you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. If you if you come across this show or whatever, and you like what you hear, if I resonated with you, feel free to show your support, either by any financial contributions, blodgetshow.com/support, or at the very least, like and follow, tell your friends. I know my goal for this podcast is for it to eventually be a good sized podcast, for it to, like I said, for me to be able to do this full time, and can only do that with your help. So, but yeah, we only fail if we quit, give up, and walk away. So keep pushing forward and keep getting back up and fighting, and you'll never fail. Even if it takes you years to get where you want to go, just keep getting back up. That's all that matters. But I appreciate you guys. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. So on that note, you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you then. Have a good one.